The Boston Art and Music Soul Festival will take place for the second time at Franklin Park on June 22nd. Along with presenting a new lineup of performers, this year's event will be a collaboration between the festival and the Berklee College of Music. To tell us what's planned is the festival's founder, curator, and executive director, Catherine Morris. Thank you very much for being with us again, Catherine.
Thank you for having me.
Roberson, last year was year one, but I think there was a long backstory before that about what got this going. Tell us about that.
What got this going was I was a student. I interned at many different festivals, and I got the inspiration to do something here at home. I started asking questions from different generations about what Boston was like in the 60s and 70s. And started doing my homework and getting a sense of that there was a cultural programming deficit for the last 20, 30 years, particularly at Franklin Park. And so I wanted to create something that combined and brought together both generations, but gave a new modern perspective on how festivals can really change neighborhoods and provide a platform for local artists, but also amplify our city and cleaning up its image for being known for many bad things, but arts and culture being kind of one of the saviors for this city.
Well, if nothing else, we have a shortage of festivals that focus on black music, don't
Absolutely. We surely do. Compared to other major metropolitan cities, I think we're probably last on the list. And I think part of it is just people believing in the power of black music and its roots and where it comes from. And it's throughout all genres of music. But I think when you fold in race, people get a little dicey on that. But the reality is that there are people on the forefront here in Boston really trying to preserve all types of genres of music with the little venues that we do have. And so for BAMS Festival to come along and really kind of amplify what they're doing on a larger stage is, to me, innovative, but also it's passing the torch. I'm not going to do this forever, but to at least set the groundwork of this is what a festival can do compared to other cities that have been doing it for years.
First of all, we should explain it for people who haven't been to this last year. When we say black music, we're talking about different kinds of music.
Absolutely. I mean, we had everything from alternative hip hop, we had spoken word, we had jazz, we've had soul, R&B, funk, brass band a little bit. It's everything. The one through line of all the music is the drum, the percussion that resonates with the heartbeat and the body, right? So if you hear that out of anything, it's going to resonate and force you to move and dance and connect with people. So yeah, it featured all types of music, but the folks who were performing were people of color who have unfortunately been overlooked for many different reasons for their artistry. So to see them on stage, to activate the stage, to connect with their audience, build new audiences, was amazing last year.
I remember the sense of a continuum between the past and the present. I heard Valerie Stevens singing Mississippi Goddamn.
Ooh, yes, yes, yes she did. And she was so proud of singing that song. I remember her calling me saying, should I sing? And I'm like, yes, you should sing this song. I think even particularly in the case of Valerie Stevens, she's someone who is a Renaissance person and can bring both generations together. And this year's lineup, I think, does the same thing. They just have different variety.
Talk about the headline singer, Eric Roberson.
Eric Roberson, he was selected. I've been following him since I was a kid. And part of the reason why he was selected is just the fact that he remains to be an independent artist. He's a husband, a father, his parents sing in his band, but he remains to be true to his craft and still have complete control over his words and how he presents himself. And I want that to be an example for rising artists, whether they're just starting their career, in their mid-career, or well into their career, that you can still remain to be independent and still do this work and travel and do the things you want to do without being signed to a major label.
You know, I see him, thumbnailed as a rhythm and blues singer, but when I listen to him, there's a whole spectrum of influences behind him.
I mean, he would tell you he's a hip hop kid first, but jazz has been part of his base. And so his performances is, to me, kind of the combination of the Temptations when they're dressed in suits and you have the background singers and they're all coordinated. To where he's really known also for his freestyling. He can say someone came into the stage with a purse, he'll actually incorporate the name of that purse into his song. So he's just very versatile, and I think there's not too many artists who can do that, and to be able to combine all of those genres and be able to do free verse, I think is amazing, and Boston needs to see that.
This has been the news. We're talking with Catherine Morris from the Boston Art and Music Soul Festival. Catherine, talk about some of the other people in the lineup.
So we have one of my favorites, the T-Tones. They're a doo-wop group by way of New York. But part of the reason why I wanted them to be here is because I grew up on doo-wop. My family raised me on doo-wop, and I wanted young children to see what it looks like from front to center, what barbershop acapella sounds like when it's harmonized. Samba Viva, we added dance this year, which we didn't have. So they're doing a full performance of Brazilian dance in full costume. We also, again, added spoken word this year. We have Ashley Rose, who is from Boston, very proud Haitian American woman. And then with hip hop, we had a lot of representation of women this year, which was amazing. We have a young lady named Red Shades, who's from Boston, very proud of it. We have another young lady named Cypherella, who lyrically, she's amazing. We also have one of our own, Cliff Notes, who has an amazing year this year and last year with his albums, and also changing the landscape of how hip hop is perceived in Boston.
Well, you can sit down, listen to music, you can get up and dance. There's also, I guess, a sort of an arts component as well here, some social justice
Oh, we
things.
we have some new things this year that we didn't have last year. One thing that has remained is our visual art component called Rep Your City. We have 5 amazing young people. Really, they have all day to canvas something that represents where they're from, whether that's identity, how they live their life, what they want people to know about their neighborhood. The new components we've added this year is a dance tent, dance pavilion. So anyone that wants to learn Afro-Brazilian, African, hip-hop, or salsa, we're offering free 4 60-minute lessons to anyone. You can come up and enjoy yourself. Of course, we have our vendor market, our food trucks, and we also have something called BYOG, which stands for Bring Your Own Game. So if you want to play dominoes or card game or chess or checkers, you can sit, play a game, and also enjoy the music.
Well, it's June 22nd, rain or shine. Anything else you want to say about when it starts and how to get there?
So, getting there is always fun. June 22nd from noon to 8. We have 19 amazing acts this year who I'm so proud of. We had 2,500 applications, so it was very hard to choose. But just come out and have a great time. It's really about the community. We need folks to show up.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Catherine Morris from BAMS Fest. We'll have more news in just a moment.